Good morning. This is Don V with Truth Be Told, and we have a couple news reports we'd like to share with you. Before we move to those, please remember to subscribe. Over 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribers, and it really helps me out when you subscribe. Subscribe, share, and click the bell on YouTube. At any rate, without ado, let's move to the first report. It says, migrant surge prompts mass releases of illegals in McAllen, Texas. Greyhound buses are still being used. Governor's executive order is not being followed. Oh, I'm so surprised, aren't you? The all-out invasion happening on the southern border is getting even worse. Over the past weekend, border agents near McAllen, Texas encountered over 8,000 illegal crossers, including 3,000 in the past 24 hours alone. The recent surge has resulted in migrant facilities in the area being 585% over capacity, prompting a mass release of invaders into downtown McAllen, Texas. Well, why can't they mass release them back to where they came from? Point of origin. On Monday, Border Patrol buses were seen making dozens of trips to transport hundreds of illegals into the city. They were bringing them to a local Catholic charity throughout the day, with the new group getting dropped off every 15 to 30 minutes. You can bet they weren't tested for COVID either. The onslaught of illegals was nonstop. Charity workers were also seen escorting large groups of migrants to the local bus station, where they were given tickets and sent on their way. Yeah, of course they were. I'm so tired of this. The mass drop-off happened just days after Governor Abbott signed his executive order banning ground transportation by anyone other than law enforcement, yet Greyhound buses are still transporting illegals to be released in the U.S. with no accountability. What a joke. Does enforcing the law mean anything to Abbott? Was it just for show, or did he just fold like a cheap chair in the DOJ? Steve Bannon recently discussed the free-for-all with Benjamin Bergquam, the leader investigative reporter for Real America's Voice, on an episode of War Room. Bergquam has been on the front lines in Texas and has been seeing firsthand what is going on at the border. He explains how he has not seen law enforcement stop anyone and blames Abbott for not doing anything to curb the flow of migrants. He also said he was at a gas station in Del Rio City, Texas, watching illegals being freely released into the U.S. The people who were processed this morning, they got a sheet of paper that said, turn yourself into a Border Patrol agent within 60 days. That's it. Now go wherever you want to in America. Yeah, like they're going to turn themselves in. They're waiting here for the Greyhound bus to show up, or the so-called humanitarians we found out yesterday, the same NGO that Governor Abbott made the executive order to try to block the smuggling around the state, are now coming here, picking them up supposedly voluntarily and taking them to hotels. Want to watch this video? Here, let's give a listen to this.
We want to go back to Real America's Voice. Chief Investigative Reporter Ben Bergquam. Ben is down there. Ben, tell us today, it was shocking what you showed on live television today of just, it looked like people coming into Disneyland or Disney World just queuing up at the border to walk across and get put in buses. Where are you now and what's happening?
I'm about 1.5 miles up from where we started this morning, Steve. I'm at the Stripes gas station on Veterans Boulevard. Ironically, we were talking about that, named Veterans Boulevard, and yet this is where they're bringing a lot of the illegals. They were processed today, so the people that are standing off to my left came across this morning. They went to the processing center. They got a sheet of paper, just like the guys we saw yesterday, that said, turn yourself into a Border Patrol agent within 60 days. That's it. Now go where.
That just burns me up. That's an 8-minute video, and I don't want to watch it all. Okay, moving on. This cannot go on any longer. The countless number of undocumented foreigners who are coming into the country is not just a national security issue, it's an election integrity issue. Governor Abbott needs to step up and hold these charities and the bus companies like Greyhound accountable now. Exactly. Catholic charities, we need to do something. They need to stop this. Who do these people think they are? All right, on Breitbart it says, so-called infrastructure bill includes racial quotas for broadband. The so-called infrastructure bill, crafted by a group of Senate Democrats and Republicans, includes provisions to deliver broadband across the United States based on racial quotas and depending on the number of newly arrived immigrants. The bill, officially released late Sunday evening, includes the Digital Equity Act that seeks to expand broadband to American communities that currently lack access to the internet due to their poverty, dilapidated infrastructure, or their geopolitical or geographical locations such as rural communities. As part of the plan, the Department of Commerce would set up a grant program to states to full fund broadband expansion. The grants would be divided up using this formula. 50% of the total grant amount shall be based on the population of the eligible state in proportion to the total population of all eligible states. 25% of the total grant amount shall be based on the number of individuals in the eligible state who are members of the covered populations in proportion to the total number of individuals in all eligible states who are members of covered populations. 25% of the total grant money amount shall be based on the comparative lack of availability and adoption of broadband in the eligible state in proportion to the lack of availability and adoption of broadband of all eligible states. In the terms section of the bill, a covered population means anyone who is considered an aging individual, a prison inmate, including those in federal prison, a veteran, an individual with disabilities, an individual with language barrier, anyone who has a member of a racial or ethnic minority. This indicates that 25% of the total grant money in the program is to help state expand broadband access. Will be partially based on how many non-white residents, newly arrived immigrants who struggle to speak English, and prison inmates a community has. The bill was crafted by 9 Senate Republicans and a group of Senate Democrats. The Senate Republicans included Richard Burr, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Rob Portman, Mitt Romney, Mike Rounds, and Thom Tillis. Traitors. Meanwhile, 18 Senate Republicans supported advancing the bill through the Senate without ever reading the legislation's final draft, including, and then it gives a bunch of Republicans here too. These people, they're supposed to be for us, but I don't think they are. At any rate, it says George Soros, right-hand man accused of running human trafficking ring. I can't read that word. Children and women. George Soros' right-hand man, Howard Rubin, has been accused of brutally beating, enslaving women and children as part of human traffic operation, according to the new testimony. 66-year-old Rubin, a high-profile Wall Street financier and former money manager for Soros, has been hit with new allegations attempted to murder multiple women in a sex dungeon at his Manhattan apartment. According to 6 victims, the New York City property has been converted into a sickening sex dungeon murder sessions. The first accusations against Rubin were made public November 2017 by News Punch, but now a slew of new women have also come forward suing Rubin in a civil trial scheduled for November for $18 million. Sickening details published by the New York Post reveal that one woman was so badly beaten her plastic surgeon was unable to operate on her after her right breast was implant flipped. Another woman revealed that just as she was about to be by Rubin, he confessed to his own children, "I'm going to you like my daughter," he told her shortly before that. Daily Mail UK reports last month that Rubin's long-standing wife of 36 years, Mary Henry, with whom he shares 3 children and is herself another Wall Street banker, filed for divorce. Financier, who has homes in the Hamptons and on New York's Upper East Side, was known in Wall Street circles as something of a high roller, as he earned millions for the billionaire investor until his scandal threatened to overshadow his reputation. The original allegations were brought by Mai Littell, Amy Moore, and Stephanie Caldwell in 2017. Littell and Moore are former Playboy playmates, while Caldwell is a model who worked for a Miami strip club. All accused Rubin of assault, battery, and human trafficking. In short, they are each alleging that they were brought to New York and taken advantage of. Allegations came down to the women saying they were physically and sexually abused, said John Boustery, a lawyer acting on behalf of the women. I think that's about all I can read of this. It's turning my stomach here. At any rate, you see that we got some really disgusting people out there that are having to finally answer for their crimes. And let's just keep on our knees to God the Father and His Son Jesus Christ, and just know that He's moving right now. He's bringing to light everything that's been done in the darkness. And this is just a small thing compared to what's going to be shown to us in the next coming months. So keep in prayer. This is Don V with Truth Be Told, broadcasting out of Arizona, and we are out of here.